All right. So today I'm going to be doing a review for Wayne Shorter's album Without a Net, released on Blue Note in 2013. It's Wayne Shorter at the moment. The day is September 2017. This is Wayne Shorter's most recent release. And I'm just going to say right off, I give this album a 10 out of 10. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. Eventually I'll get to covering some albums I don't like, but really this album, I couldn't not cover this album. It's too good. Um, so where do I begin? All right. So Wayne Shorter, when he let's see, how old was Wayne Shorter when he released this album? Wayne Shorter was he's 84 right now, so he was about 80 when he released this album. Wayne Shorter's career, I mean, he's been playing for 60 years now. Then about 64 years. Wayne Shorter is easily one of my favorite musicians of all time, and that's because he's a brilliant composer, he's a brilliant improviser, and he's a great band leader. And all of those have really been coming out together in his later works. If you split Wayne Shorter's career up, you have, I'd say, in my opinion, you have first is his period of you've got his early period with Art Blakey, leading into his Miles Davis period. Those were different, but that whole period is really kind of, I would put that as one period of Wayne Shorter's career. Second, you've got his fusion years, which are mostly just him with Weather Report, and then a few kind of other albums in there, like Odyssey of Iska, I believe it's called, and a few other kind of just random albums that were kind of around there, which all are all interesting. Really, the highlight of those is his Weather Report albums. And then you have his later years, I think, where the big albums from that period are 1+1 with Herbie Hancock, Footprints Live, the first of his first album with the Wayne Shorter Quartet, the Alegria is another one with them, and then this album, which is just the culmination of this new sound that he's been going for the past 2 decades. And it's that the important thing to know is that this is definitely not just him. This is Without a Net is sure it's a Wayne Shorter album, but really this album needs to be noted as a Wayne Shorter quartet album. I once said, well, there was a question on the subreddit for jazz. What's an unpopular jazz opinion you had? And I did a thing where I posted most people posted one. I posted 40 just as a joke, and just because it was a good exercise. And I definitely would say that, one of the things that I said on there was that Wayne Shorter is I don't remember if I said worst or least important member of the Wayne Shorter Quartet. And that's a bit of an exaggeration, but the reason I say that is because, well, I'll just say the Wayne Shorter Quartet is Brian Blade on drums, John Patitucci on the double bass, and Danilo Perez on the piano, which is just a fire lineup. Like, that's Jesus Christ. I won't even go into everybody separately. Those are all amazing musicians. I've already talked about Brian Blade in my first video on this channel. I reviewed Landmarks? Yeah, that's the name of the album, Landmarks. And his playing on here is just so much, but everybody playing on here is amazing. And the reason that I say that Wayne Shorter is the least important member is because he's important, obviously, to the band leading and providing the compositions and all that. But especially when you see them live, I mean, I was interested in what he was doing, but you're captivated by John Patitucci, Danilo Perez, and when I saw them live, it was Terry Lynn Carrington on drums, not Brian Blade. And you're just captivated by those sidemen, even though Wayne Shorter is supposedly the person leading it. I mean, it's such a collaborative effort, and you can tell that it's definitely Wayne Shorter's an amazing leader, because when these people come together, their playing is just elevated, in my opinion, so much more than their solo works. Or, not solo, but their works with other people. So obviously he's important. It's a joke that he's the least important, but it's just, they're amazing. It's an amazing quartet, and it's really a quartet, not just Wayne Shorter's band. And to this album, I believe the quartet's released 4 albums. It's Footprints Live, Alegria, Beyond the Sound Barrier, and there was an 8-year gap, and then Without a Net. And Without a Net is just amazing. The album has, I believe, about 10 songs. Let's see. The album has 9 songs. And I mean, okay, let's see. I believe two of the songs, yeah, so two of the songs are covers of songs Wayne's already released, Orbits and Plaza Real. Plaza Real was a Weather Report song, a tune from one of their later albums. It's a good tune, but they play it completely different, and it's way better on this album. Orbits is, of course, classic from Miles Smiles, and he recorded. I actually think he recorded it on his own, but maybe. But again, just it's crazy. It's just he does so much more with it than they did in the Miles Davis Quartet. I'm not the biggest fan of the Second Great Quintet, so I may be a bit biased there, but it's the way that they play with rhythms is amazing throughout this album. It's genius. Everybody, Wayne Shorter, John Patitucci, Neil Perez, and Brian Blade, but really like it's just I don't know if it's colors or what. It's beyond my knowledge, but it is just it's amazing the way that rhythms work, and you can really hear that on SS Golden Mean, which is one of my favorite tracks from the album. It's a nice, quick, like 5 minute tune, which is really cool. Orbits has it for sure, um, but really this, and they have such great cohesion that you don't even notice that some weird rhythm stuff's going on. What else about this album? It's really the that's the main thing. The way that they are so cohesive, it's just it blows me out of the mind. And a lot of this music is very improvised. Like, it's very improvised music, and it's just you can barely tell. It sounds like it was just thoroughly arranged because it's just so well done. Like they're just always playing off each other perfectly. I really got to give credit. If I had to choose my favorite member of this quartet, it's John Patitucci. Probably his bass work. It just goes off of everyone else so well, without just kind of like just being a bassist walking in the back or anything. I don't even think he walks this whole album, but that would be weird if he did. But he's throwing out his own creative lines, encouraging other people. He's really such a great team player on this album. Another thing I'd want to say is the flow of this album is very interesting. It starts out with these kind of really solid, anybody could get into tunes. Orbits is just super, it's just beautiful. It's hard hitting, it's powerful. And this whole album is, but that tune in particular. Starry Night's beautiful. The second tune on this album is just beautiful. It's flowing. It really keeps this. Daniel Price is throwing out these rolling notes and everything. And Wayne's playing nice, beautiful stuff. It's really good. SS Golden Mean is probably the most popular track on the album. It's really like just got this rhythm going. It's kind of got this march feel. Like it's just really got this kind of really cool march feel. And then as it kind of starts to go on, it gets more amorphous. And in my opinion, I split this album between pre-Pegasus and post-Pegasus, because the sixth track is Pegasus, which is this like 23-minute tune with a wind section behind them, with like flutes, oboes, clarinets, bassoons, and stuff. And it is like, it's a really just amazing Wayne Shorter composition. It reminds me a lot of his previous album called Alegria, which I wasn't as big of a fan of because it was very orchestrated. It had just a lot of people coming on. And so it was nice, in my opinion, to just have one of those tunes because it was just beautifully done, but it was too much on that album. On this album, just having one was perfect. But pre-Pegasus, it's pretty it's pretty accessible is the term, I'd say, at least for jazz people. Post-Pegasus, it starts to get a bit weird, and you can really hear that it's not just Wayne Shorter's stuff anymore. It's very much clearly like a group, more free effort. So Flying Down to Rio is a cover of like this 30s tune, but you barely notice it. And starting there, it's kind of like, it's got this interesting, more collaborative, free-fish feel. And Zero Gravity to the 10th Power. Jesus Christ. The title is exactly what it sounds like. It's like zero gravity. It feels like you're free floating to the 10th power. I don't know what that means. Maybe it means more zero gravity. I have no idea, but it feels like that. Like they are clearly rooted in this. Like, okay, the way it opens up is Brian Blade is like hitting like is like hitting like the rim of his drum, just like, and then you have Neil Perez is like he's muting his piano strings and hitting them, like hitting one like tuk tuk tuk. And then John Patitucci is just playing this like cool, almost like a bass solo thing. It's really well done. And then Wayne Shorter just starts whistling. He's like whistling this line. it's just like out of nowhere, and it feels so unrooted, and it just conjures space in my mind. Um, and then after that, they just start they kind of get back slowly into their instruments, and you don't even notice because it's so smooth. But they're all rooted, of course, in the same song. You can definitely hear it, but at the same time, it sounds like they're just all over the place doing random stuff without sounding like they're not listening to each other. It's amazing. And then the notes unidentified flying objects is the last song, and that one I didn't like it as much as some of the others, but because it wasn't like enjoyable or pleasurable. But it's similar to like Peter Brötzmann's album Machine Gun, which I haven't really gotten yet. Give it a shot. It literally sounds like a machine gun. Um, I respect it because it did such a great job of conjuring that in my mind. Just like this song did such a good job of conjuring UFOs in my mind. Like it sounded like UFOs. It was so like free. Just this group can conjure images better than anyone I've ever heard. And I've heard some pretty good people try to just conjure an image in your head and it comes in your head. This was far and away, well, except for one time. There was one time when actually someone did better, but besides that one time, it's amazing. They're really good at what they do. What else do I have to say? To wrap it up, I already said I'd give this album a 10. It's easy. Everybody should listen to this. It's genius. You gotta give it a shot. It's just amazing. I don't have anything else to say. It's an amazing album. Hope you like it.